Good morning children. So we are continuing the chapter Newton's laws of motion. In the previous video I explained you what is Newton's first law of motion and already we discussed some of the examples for Newton's first law of motion in our daily life, right? So today we are going to discuss what is Newton's second laws of motion. So before the explanation, just one example I will. Here suppose this is a ball in the ground at rest. Okay. Suppose I give a gentle push to this ball. What will happen? Of course, it will get acceleration. It will get acceleration. When I push the ball, it gets the acceleration. Is it or not? So here what happened? When the body is at rest, I just give a small force to the ball. It got the acceleration. So here the force changed the state of the object. Before the ball was at rest, when I give a force to the object, its state changed to motion. So that's only Newton's second law of motion explaining. When a non-zero net force acts on an object, what happens to that object? That we are going to learn now. What we are going to learn now? When an object, when we are giving a non-zero net force, what happens to an object? That object, what will happen? Non-zero net force. What do you mean non-zero net force? What do you mean non-zero force? That means the net force should not be equal to 0. The net force should not be equal to 0. So here I am giving a non-zero net force. Here my net force is not equal to 0. It has some magnitude. Is it or not? So here the net force is not 0. That's why the body got acceleration. So that is non-zero force. The net force should not be equal to 0. Some amount should be there. Tell me any case, or suppose tell me any case net force is equal to 0. Sometimes it may happen. I will explain. Suppose this table is a frictionless table. Okay, guess this is a frictionless table. I kept my book on the table. Here two type of force act on this book. We already learned in 8th class. Which type of forces are acting? One is force of gravity and other is normal force. Right? Both are anti-parallel to each other. Here two type of forces are acting. One is force of gravity and other is the normal force. So both are anti-parallel to each other. Here the book doesn't have any acceleration. Why? Because here the net force is 0. Here the body doesn't have any acceleration. The book has no acceleration because here the net force is 0. Why? Because here both forces are anti-parallel to each other. Understood? So some of the cases net force may also 0. But Newton's second law of motion explains that what happens to an object when a non-zero force acts on it. Force should not be, net force should not be equal to 0. Okay, so to explain Newton's second law of motion, we have to go for a new term. Okay, what is a new term? Is momentum. Have you heard momentum? No? So momentum. What is momentum? Very important term, momentum. To explain momentum, before we will go through some examples, right? Suppose a huge truck and one bicycle. When I am telling the example, just imagine it. Okay. So one huge truck and one bicycle. Both at a time it hit on a wall. Both at a time hit on a wall. Tell me which vehicle causes more damage? Huge truck or bicycle? Which can cause more damage to the wall? Of course, huge truck only, right? Tell me why. Why you gave the answer huge truck? Why? Because huge truck has more mass. That is your answer, is it or not? Huge truck has more mass than bicycle. That's why it causes more damage to the wall. So here the factor is mass. Mass is the factor here. Okay. So let's see another example. Right. Bullet. Bullet, you know, very small in size, which fired from a gun can cause more damage to the wall. Is it or not? The bullet size is very small, but it can cause more damage to the wall. Tell me, here the factor is mass? No. Then what is the factor here? Why that small size of bullet can cause more damage to the wall? Here mass is not the factor, then what is the factor here? Tell me. Yes, velocity of the bullet. Because the velocity of the bullet, it causes more damage to the wall. Bullet velocity is very high. So here the factor is velocity. Look at two examples. First example, I told you that mass is the factor. Because of that, it causes more damage. Second one, because of the velocity it can. So, to understand these two examples, to explain these two examples, we need one term. Okay, that term is called as momentum. Momentum, simply we are telling that mass in motion. What is it is called? Mass in motion. So momentum, we can simply say that mass in motion. Or we can say that any objects which are in motion and have some mass possess momentum. Is it or not? Any objects in motion which have some mass possess momentum. So momentum is represented by the letter P. So we can say that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Momentum is the product of mass and velocity, right? So once see the unit of momentum, mass unit is kg and velocity unit is meter per second. So the unit of momentum is kg meter per second, or we can say also Newton second. So these are the unit of momentum. Understood what is momentum? Any moving objects which have some mass possess momentum. Lots of examples are there for momentum. Okay. So we understood the term momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Any moving objects which have some mass, it possesses momentum. Okay. Now, suppose this is a small ice block. Okay, a small ice block. I am giving a small push to this ice block. A small net force on that ice block. What will happen? Of course, it gets an acceleration, right? It gets an acceleration up to here. Next time, the same ice block, my net force I increased my net force. With the more net force, with the more force, I push the ice block. Now what will happen? This case, is the same acceleration for this ice block? No. Here what happened? Here I applied more force. So what happened? It will get more acceleration than first case. It will get more acceleration. So what you are observing here? Here the mass is constant. Same ice block only. Mass is constant here. So when mass is constant, the smaller net force, smaller acceleration only. Larger net force, larger the acceleration. Is it or not? So larger net force, greater the acceleration. So we can we say that net force directly proportional to acceleration? When condition is there, when mass is constant. When mass is constant, we can say that net force directly proportional to A. Here we have seen that. Smaller net force, smaller acceleration, lesser acceleration, and larger net force, greater acceleration. So net force directly proportional to A, we can say that when the mass is constant. Okay. So another case I will tell you. This first case, another case. So in the second case, I am taking two ice blocks of different mass. Okay. One smaller ice block and one larger ice block I am taking now. And to the both ice block I am giving same net force. Same net force I am giving to both ice blocks. Can you tell here which ice block has greater acceleration? Smaller ice block or larger ice block? Which one has greater acceleration? Of course, the smaller ice block has the greater acceleration and the larger ice block has lesser acceleration only. Here one observe. The smaller ice blocks has greater acceleration, larger ice block has lesser acceleration. When the net force is constant, here the factor, the net force is constant, then what happens? Larger mass has lesser acceleration. Can we say? Larger mass has lesser acceleration when the net force is constant. Here the net force is constant. Understood these two cases? First case, mass is constant, then net force directly proportional to acceleration. Now net force is constant in this case. Okay. From these two, I am going to define Newton's second law of motion. From these two cases, I am going to define Newton's second law of motion. That is, net force is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum. Rate of change in momentum. How to pronounce? Directly proportional, you know that. So, net force is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum according to Newton's second law of motion. So, we can write it as rate of change of momentum. How to write? Delta P by delta T. We already learned that momentum is denoted by the letter P. So, rate of change in means delta. So, delta P by delta T. According to the time, the momentum is changing. What does it indicate? When you are giving more net force, the rate of change in momentum will be more. So, here the net force is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum. Okay. So, we already learned that to change proportionality sign to equal sign, we have to multiply with a constant. So, here the constant is K. Proportionality constant. When suppose K is equal to 1, what will happen? The net force is equal to delta P by delta T. Here you understood? Proportionality sign change into equal sign, then we have to multiply with a constant. Here K is a constant. Suppose K is equal to 1, then net force is equal to delta P by delta T. Okay. And one more thing, before we discuss that, momentum is the mass into velocity. Momentum is mass into velocity. So, once you think here, any object, its velocity may change. What may constant? Mass is constant. Is it not? Mass not changing there. When an object, there is a possibility of changing velocity only. There is no change in mass. So, when momentum will change, when the velocity of the object will change. Is it or not? When momentum, here delta indicates change in, there is a change in momentum. So, when the change in momentum will happen, only the possibility when the velocity will change. Mass is constant. So, delta only for velocity. Here velocity is changing, so momentum also changes. Understood? So, we can, in this equation, we can write delta P. Delta P means change in momentum is equal to mass into delta V. Why? Because velocity only changes. Okay. Substitute this value here then. Substitute the value here, m delta V by delta T. Right? And we already learned that delta V by delta T, rate of change in velocity is acceleration. Rate of change in velocity is acceleration. Can we substitute here? So, in the place of delta V by delta T, what we can? A. That is m. So, this is an important formula from Newton's second law of motion. Net force is equal to mass into acceleration. Net force is equal to mass into acceleration. So, understood? Newton's second law states that rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to net force applied on the object. Net force directly proportional to rate of change in momentum. So, here after deriving it, we are getting the formula F net is equal to net force is equal to mass into acceleration. What this equation indicates? This equation explains net force produces an acceleration in the body. Is it or not? Net force produces an acceleration in the body in the direction of net force. Which direction we are applying the force? In that direction, the body get the acceleration. Before I told you, when I push the ice block in this direction, I am applying the net force on this ice block. It got the acceleration in the direction of net force only. Here is my direction of net force. So the body also accelerated in that direction only. Understood? So here net force produces an acceleration in the body in the direction of net force. In which direction we are applying the net force? In that direction only the acceleration will get. Understood? So this is the Newton's second law of motion, and we already discussed Newton's second law of motion. Definition: the derivation of net force is equal to ma, very important, and the momentum, the concept of momentum, how to calculate momentum. And one more there, I forgot to tell you one thing. This one understood? If you want to, you can note it down. Newton's second law definition and net force is equal to ma derivation also, very important. If you want, note it down. Okay? Okay. So, one thing I forgot to tell you when I explained momentum, I told you that any moving object has momentum. Momentum is the mass into velocity, I told you. Okay. Any time, any cases, momentum is equal to 0. Momentum will be 0 in any case. Yes, momentum can be 0 when the body at rest. When the body at rest. So that time V is equal to 0, mass is there. But velocity 0 when the body is at rest. So the velocity is 0. Here we are substituting. Mass will be there. So the momentum 0. So some of the case the body at rest, the momentum is 0. Only, that's why I explained in the definition, only moving objects which has a mass, that object has momentum. Okay, when the body is at rest, momentum will be 0. Understood? Okay children, I think you understood the topic. So have a nice day.